And gentlemen, please welcome Esther Ghey. Now, Esther, over the past year, since obviously your world completely changed, you've become this campaigner and wanting to change the world for so many kids. Did that, I don't know, that need for change, did that exist in you before, or is it something that arrived to you as a result of what happened with Brianna?
I think as a parent, as a mother of a child that was struggling with her mobile phone usage and she was clearly addicted, I feel that I knew that something needed to change. But like many other people, like we don't have a voice until something really tragic happens. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting emotional already.
It's all right,
So yeah, I suppose I could see that something needed to change, and now that I've got that voice, I'm going to keep pushing until something has.
Esther, just know this is a really safe space for you and that we're here for you. So I just need you to hear that. So what can we do? So we're looking at the changes that can happen. So in terms of the tech companies, what do you think they can do differently? Let's start there, because they need to take responsibility for their actions too.
So I've set up a petition which has now got, I think it's almost 120,000 signatures, and it's calling for mobile phone companies to take more responsibility for children's welfare. So I would really like to see phones that are developed that are safe for children, that have things such as, I've got a big list, I won't go all the way through it, but things such as like harmful word monitoring, so that if a child is searching for something harmful to them, or even like texting something harmful, that will flag up to the parent's phone, and like screen time limiters. There's so many things that I would like to see, but I want these at point of purchase, and so that the child cannot get around it as well. So it needs to be tamper-proof too.
Excellent. Great. So that's great in terms of what the tech companies can do. So taking the other view now in terms of as a parent, what do you think parents can do to prevent things like this happening in the future?
I think for now, I think it's so difficult to be a parent. It's so it's always been hard being a parent, but now with this technology, you can't monitor everything that a child or a teenager is accessing 24/7. They're carrying these devices around in their pockets all day. So I think that I would urge parents to take as long as possible before giving the child a phone. There's lots of things emerging in the news now that is saying that smartphones can be detrimental to children's health. So
Pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, have you had conversations with social media companies about this, and what kind of reception do you get from them when you're sort of saying this needs to change?
So I've not had an opportunity to speak to social media companies yet. I'm working closely with a group called the Bereaved Families for Online Safety, and we're having talks with Ofcom. So we've got that side for the Online Safety Act, but I have potentially got a meeting with a tech company at the end of May, and that is kind of like a feasibility meeting, as opposed to see, like, can we do this?
It's so important, because I think we know that one of Brianna's killers was accessing what they call the dark web. I mean, I don't think any of us here would know even how to access that. So I think there is always a possibility that someone thinking in terms of that would be able to ultimately access it outside the home. But I think even if we could come halfway to that with just making it a million times more difficult for that to happen, because we know now that at the press of a button or the click of something going in, you can access, I know with pornography, it's just one word and you're into this whole, horrendous world. One question I would like to ask you, Esther, one of a million, is I think that there are a lot of people who are in awe, but also surprised at how you reached out to the mother of one of Brianna's killers, and how you have formed, I don't want to say a friendship, but you had formed an association. Now, maybe prior to Brianna's death, you may have seen something similar happening and think, oh, I could never do that. What prompted you to overcome what must have been an incredibly difficult time to reach out to her?
I think for me, Scarlett's mother isn't the one that committed the crime, and I understand how difficult it is, and I understand how many external influences there are in bringing a child up. No matter how hard we try now to bring a child up in the best possible way, what they're accessing online is also going to be influencing them. I also saw the way that the parents were in court and how harrowed they were as well. It was... essentially, we've both been through something really horrific. We both lost our child. And I suppose for them, they've got to continue with this now, and their child's in prison, and they've got to continue also with, I imagine, like the shame and guilt that their child's committed such a crime. So,
how did you? I know that you've never released the details of exactly what was said during that meeting, but how did you feel when you came away? Was it a positive change in you?
Yes, I'm glad that I did it, and we're still in contact now. I think for me, I just wanted her to know that I didn't blame her. So I suppose...
It's amazing.
You know, obviously, Esther, from the day it happened to now, there's so many different challenges that you face and heartbreaking moments. You know, going to court, one of the things that you actually was for is actually the killer's names being released, even though one was under the age of 18. Why was that so important for you?
So at the time, we'd been through this whole trial, and I decided that I wanted the names being released at the sentencing because ultimately, by the time that they're 18, the names would be released anyway. So I just wanted to get it all out of the way in one go. I didn't want them to have another layer of attention, I suppose, and I wanted a sense of closure for our family as well.
Yeah. So you didn't want attention for them in a negative way, or you just didn't want, like, you know, news-wise in that, so it felt like it was, like, you know... almost rewarded,
News-wise, like, I think that there has been enough just from the trial, and I just think it was, in a way, it was a sense of closure, whereas we don't want it to be all dragged up again. I want to look to the future. I want to see what we can do positively, how we can actually make a change and make things better, rather than that being dragged up over and over again.
Talking of...
Well, Esther, you know, you've been thrown into a situation publicly that you never asked for, in a situation that I can't imagine what it was like for your family to go through and to still go through. How do you look after you?
I've practiced mindfulness now for about 9 years, and I've continued to practice mindfulness as well. So every morning I try to meditate, and I really do make sure that I take care of my mental health and that I try to take care of my physical health as well. As I'm saying that, I'm thinking I've not actually been to the gym now for about a month. But,
we were just saying that you look amazing.
Thank you.
But you would like mindfulness to come into schools more, so that we're concentrating more on children's mental health in their formative years, which I think is so important. But on a more positive note, you are getting married to your wonderfully supportive fiancé, Wes.
Yeah.
And Denise probably wants to know if she's invited. She wants to go to everybody's wedding. Everybody's wedding.
When is that happening?
I'll send you an invitation.
There you go. Honestly, Esther, it's been wonderful to have you in the studio, and you can come and be a part of our gang anytime.
Thank you.
Esther,